Hello, and welcome to Ask Deb About Business. I am Rom Gayoso, co host. We are broadcasting via Futures Television, the home of the future on television. If you're listening to the show via podcast or watching us on TV, you too can be part of the conversation. Just visit our YouTube channel, that is IMCI Magazine, where we continue to chat about the topic of the day. You can also access this information on our website, and that is www.futurestelevision.com. So don't be shy. And today, our topic is TikTok for business. Say what? Yeah, seriously. It's one of the many social media platforms out there, and it does indeed get a lot of eyeballs. So the question is, can you make it work for your business? And that's exactly what we're here to find out. Well, to be honest with you, I don't know anything about TikTok, but thankfully, I know someone who does. So let me say a few words about the show. So, broadcasting live from Chicagoland to the world, today is the first Ask Deb about business. In this talk show, I joined Deb Dietz to discuss a variety of business topics. Say you are creating your strategic plan for that microbrewery you're opening in Milwaukee, or you just graduated from Vernon Hills High School and you're opening a food truck business with your mates. Or you wonder if TikTok is right for you. So, no matter what your venture is, you will certainly have questions. So, worry no more. Now you have someone to talk to. So, let me say a few words about Deb. Alrighty. So, Deb has a long and distinguished career as a coach, mentor, and through her awesome training programs at SMB Digital Education. She has enabled many entrepreneurs to follow their dreams. And this is exactly why I like what she does. It's her ability to deliver practical advice to help you solve business problems. So, if you have a business question, you should really ask Deb about that. So, without further ado, let me welcome Debbie Dietz to the show. Hi, Deb.
Hi, Ron. How are you?
How wonderful to see you. It's great to have you here. You and I talking today.
Happy to be here, Ron. So excited. I wanted to welcome everyone to our inaugural show. We're excited about our topic today and our conversation about the what and the why of TikTok. And our follow up show, our Take Two show, will focus on the how to's, practical guidance on the platform. In fact, our shows, which are held every other Thursday at 11 a.m. Central, are all about practical guidance, learning from real life practitioners with real world experience. So, welcome to Ask Deb About Business.
So let's get going. Well, Deb, TikTok for business. Wow. I'm a business owner. Why should I consider this social media platform?
Great question, Ram. I'm a believer that TikTok for Business is a key strategy to drive brand awareness and generate revenue for your products and services. And in today's world, in today's digital economy, 80% of all business to business sales transactions are occurring in digital channels. And so today we're going to show if you're not on TikTok, if you're not on the platform yet, why you should be.
And that's really a great segue to my next question. So, say some people are already in the platform. So, why business professionals use the TikTok platform?
Great question. First of all, there are over a billion users on the platform. So a lot of people on the platform, and they're not all teenagers. So, and 20 million of those billion on the platform are over 30 years old. So your potential customers are on the platform. Your prospects are on the platform. And the user base is growing 1.5 times every month. So there is a movement of in young professionals on the platform, and they are your target audience. So if you're not on the platform and haven't thought about it, maybe this is the time for you to do that. Your buyers are there. And also, another interesting piece of information is even with a very small following, you can generate revenue on the platform.
Oh, and that's exactly what I want to hear, right? So let's talk a little bit about audience acquisition. So, Deb, can you share some pointers or some thoughts on what is really the best way to grow your TikTok audience?
Great question. I think probably one of the greatest ways is to consider where you have a great online presence. Many people, many business professionals have a solid base on LinkedIn. They have a big following on LinkedIn. And so if you're able to create your TikTok videos and then bring them over to your LinkedIn profile, that is a great way to let your LinkedIn audience know, or your Facebook or Instagram audience, that you are now on TikTok, and invite them to follow you on the TikTok platform. So that's probably the greatest tip, is to bring over your existing large audience that you have on other platforms.
So let's talk a little bit about that. So we see, Facebook, Instagram, other platforms. So can you shed some light on this topic? Let's discuss it a little bit further. So some people say, well, we should post here, we should post there, we should post everywhere. So the real question is, how effective is cross posting really?
It's very, very effective, because you want to, you have to start somewhere, right? So you may create, maybe your initial video or two, and you want to be able to get in front of your target audience. So cross posting on these other platforms is the best way to kind of jump the probability that people that already follow you see your TikTok video. And so the ability to cross promote is probably one of the key strategies here. We talked before about generating brand awareness, and you want to leverage all your online platforms. So cross post where it makes sense and when it makes sense.
Okay, that's a good thought. Now, so effectively, do you have some ideas, or what are some other ways? I mean, you mentioned cross posting. What are some other ways that I could use to grow my TikTok audience?
Really looking to identify your niche ideal customer. So probably in any marketing initiative and developing any promotional strategy, you need to do research on your target audience, create a profile of who they are, and recognize that some of your customers look different. They may have different profiles. So do that exercise first. Do the research on the front end to clearly define your ideal customer. And from that, you're going to understand what their needs are, their pain points. And you want to make sure that your TikTok videos, because you only have a very short period of time to convey your message, you want to make sure that that message is certainly going in front of the right people, but also that message is relevant to that audience.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the strategy for a moment. So, what are some of the best practices to creating a funnel strategy in TikTok?
Great question. You have to start somewhere, and in many cases, with any marketing strategy or promotional strategy, you have to start generating awareness. And so that's really step one. And you need to make sure that you are moving those new people who are new to you along a pathway, so ultimately they will engage with you and ideally transact with you. And so that's a process, and that takes time. So there has to be an understanding that that is a process. You have to start somewhere. And so if you start by posting your first video, and then you're again cross promoting, so you're letting people on your other platforms come over to TikTok, and then once they're on TikTok, making sure that your subsequent videos are compelling and moving people along a funnel pathway. So you're addressing their pain points, providing value, and ultimately asking them to engage with you, maybe download, maybe you provide something of value for them to download, and then they can download your information, and by doing so provide you with their contact information that then you can use potentially in your email campaigns. Now you've got that prospect's name, you have their email address, and now you can engage with them on a consistent basis, potentially via email. But you have to start somewhere. So you have to move them along that funnel sequence from they don't know you to they know you, they like you, they trust you, and they want to work with you.
Yeah, so but I am really green on TikTok, I really wanted to find what is really. Can you give me some tips and tricks? What is a way or a couple of the ways you can think of how to grow my audience? I really, I'm sorry, I'm really not so sure how to do that. So I know I have to get started, and I'm trying to get started. But what kind of tips can you offer me?
I think probably one of the greatest tips is to educate. So, think about what you value, what your services or your product is, and you need to educate your audience as to why that's relevant to them. So that comes back to having a really good understanding of who your target audience is. And then you have to educate them as to why you and the value that you provide is relevant to them. So education is a critical first step. And then you're taking them on a journey. So you're educating them, but then you want to help them overcome their pain point. So they're going through a transformation process and you're guiding them through that transformation process. So education is critically important. Providing something that's transformational from that for them, taking them maybe from something that's creating distress or conflict to a solution, and you want to move them along that pathway. And then you want to give them something for free. So whatever that is, it could be a free download of a white paper or a coupon, or hey, join my mastermind group. Whatever that is, you want to offer them something for free. And ideally, we call that a lead magnet. And so ideally for providing that good piece of value for free, they'll opt in and give you their contact information. And once you have your contact information, that's a warm lead. That's a potential client for you.
Oh, that's interesting, but I'm kind of not really sure what exactly should I post. So could you give me some pointers in terms of the content? What exactly should I talk about in terms of content in TikTok?
Again, something that's educational, something that they value. So you have to really, again, understand who they are, what they value, and provide it. And so that's really important. You also want to make sure that that you're doing this yourself. In other words, and I've had conversations when I first started myself on the platform of instead of I was leery of doing the videos myself and thought maybe someone else, a service provider, could do them for me. And the feedback I got was, no, you have to do it yourself. It is TikTok is a platform for your personal brand, so you have to represent yourself and be you, just be you. And so, however, you can find a way to relate through your subject matter, as long as you can kind of connect the dots to what they find relevant to what you're offering and what you want to talk about, then I think you'll be successful.
Okay, so perhaps it's time we should look at a couple of examples, and I think you picked a couple. So can you say a few words about Meredith first?
Absolutely. This one is from Meredith Grundy. Meredith is a public speaking coach, and she works with people who want to improve their public speaking skills. And so she works one on one with the clients. She also works for corporations, and because poor presentation skills can really have a negative impact on your ROI.
Okay, so let's take a look at that.
Here's something that nobody is talking about. Nobody talks about how difficult it can be to become a confident public speaker. It can be quite scary. And to overcome that fear, you have to show up and do the work. There is no quick fix solution or tip that's going to make you a better speaker overnight. Guarantee. I'm Meredith Grundy. I'm a public speaking and presentation skills coach. It took me a long time to find my voice, and now I want to help you find yours. Check out Confidently Speaking, my group coaching program. It's a very supportive group. We meet every Wednesday from 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Mighty Networks. Link in bio.
All
Now, see,
right.
I love that. I love Meredith's video because she's providing her value in a very short period of time, and she's not putting forth a hard sell. And that's something that's also really important. She's putting forth herself, her value. She's doing it in a very engaging way without being overly salesy, if you will. And this video of Meredith's has had a huge impact on her business. She said once she put that out there, she said I had a lot of people reach out to her, and she told me she just submitted a huge proposal from an organization because one of the moms was watching TikTok videos with her children, and Meredith's video happened to be in her feed. And so over the course of a couple months, she kept seeing Meredith's videos. And so she's gotten clients from that. She's gotten one-on-one clients from that. She's gotten some corporate opportunities coming her way. And when I asked her, what is the biggest tip you could provide our audience today, she said, being consistent. She said she posts a TikTok video once a day, and she does that once a day. So, but she does it consistently every single day. And so that probably is the biggest tip of all, is whatever you're doing, you have to do it consistently every day, because people will start to follow you. They'll like you. Every video is different and engaging. And again, you're representing your personal brand. So it's really, and it's very short. Videos are very attention getting, and she's had great success.
It's amazing. I really love that video. And I think she kind of checks all of the things that you've been talking about, even the freebie, because she said, join me and my group. So she's giving value, inviting
Absolutely.
people, right, at no cost. Just join us and listen and learn. So I kind of love. So there's a lot of education in there.
Mm-hmm.
Her persona is really warm, and there's at the end,
There's
join
a call
me.
to action. There's a call to action, right?
There's a call to action. Wow, that was really amazing. So actually, I want to change subjects a little bit. So how important is it to focus on providing value? And you said a little bit about that versus selling or plugging your business. So maybe you're new to the platform. I certainly am. And you focus on value-oriented content, or when you are more experienced and comfortable, you can transition to soft selling. So how do we go about that, really?
That's a great question, and critically important, because you certainly don't want your initial videos to be overly promotional. That really is a turnoff. And because again, people do business, people engage with people that they know, that they like, and that they trust. And so if initially, if you're going out with a hard sales push on a video, you're not going to get the attention that you need. You're not going to be able to have an opportunity, because your value message will be lost. So the best practice here is, certainly if you're new to the platform, make sure that you're going out consistently, ideally once a day, and make sure that their value messages, how you're helping solve a problem or address a pain point, and then a very subtle transition with a subtle call to action about, join me, join my group, come and be part of our mastermind. And it's leading people back to the conversation about the funnel. You have to start somewhere. So you're going to start at the beginning with a cold audience. And then if you're providing value, day one, they see your next video on day two, that's more value. You continue to do that, but very subtly transition. You don't have a lot of time. A lot of these videos are 15 seconds long. So you don't have a lot of time. So as long as you, in the top of your mind, think about value, and then a soft transition at the end to, come join me. I hope, send me a comment. I hope to hear from you. and it's not pushy or salesy. And then as you start to build your following and you have more followers and people that are following you regularly, then you can do transition to more of your services. But I think for those that are new to the platform, that's probably a good strategy is, just think at the top of your mind, no sales push, and I think you'll be fine.
That's a good point. So, that was certainly inspiring. There was a message, is a lot of education, there's a lot of value. But, at the end, you have to put that call to action. So, what kind of a tip? So, what is an effective call to action on a 15-second video?
So, call to action could be, for example, like Meredith, great example on her video is, reach out to me, or, come in, send me an email, or, here, here's my contact information, send me a note, or, be part of my network. I would love to have you part of my network. And so you're inviting them in to your world. And so I think, and if you provide something of value that they can download and that they're able, and then, we, in the digital marketing world, you want people who engage with you, who are interested in you, to provide you with their contact information. And so one of the best ways to do that is to provide, could, like I said, that piece of value. It could be a white paper that you've written, or it could be a coupon. Maybe you've got a paid membership, and maybe you're going to provide a coupon for people to come into your network at a discount. So think about what would make people transverse from the knowing you, the liking you, to then following you, engaging you, and being part of your network, and then ultimately possibly purchasing your services. So if you keep in terms of that movement along the funnel and what content and what call to actions would be relevant for wherever they are in the funnel path, then I think that's a great strategy to follow.
And that's really where I really need more of your help, because I think I am thinking in YouTube terms. So I don't know, like, subscribe, and share my video, but this has nothing to do with that. I think it's creating that value proposition, giving something for free, but using the one persona, and then that call to action at the end, that it's really gonna kind of wrap it up into one specific packaging. But I want to go back to talking about specifics of TikTok. And TikTok is this specific thing which is called For You. So this For You recommendations. So how important are those For You recommendations?
It is critical. And so, first of all, you need the For Yous. You need to have your videos recommended to others. So if you're on the platform and all of a sudden it will say, oh, here's a video for you from someone else, because you may fit the target audience for that other video content creator. And so it's a great way to make to generate awareness about you to brand new people who may not know about you. So it's a great strategy. And in order to do that, you sort of your videos have to trend. So you have to have a certain number of viewers. And then all of a sudden it'll catch the attention of the algorithm. And so they'll say, oh, as a matter of fact, Ron, one of your videos you posted came into my feed as For You. So the algorithm put in front of me your TikTok video. So that is critically important, so that so that is a great way to get more views, get more people to follow you, to like you, to engage with you.
I don't know if I will survive that video, but we'll talk about that in a little while, I guess. But so I really wonder, what kind of other tips can you offer if I'm really trying to sell my services on TikTok?
Probably one of the greatest tips here is to repost other people's videos. Because when you repost, so for example, the TikTok video that was for you, that came to me, if I took that video, which I will, by the way, and repost it to my feed, then every time I do that, the algorithm looks at me as being an author, a content author. So I'm gonna win two ways. I'm gonna win with the algorithm by posting my own content, my own videos. And for those of you that are new to the platform, the algorithm favors those are new to the platform. So know that that's also very, very important and a great way to get out there and try. The algorithm works in your favor. So if you put out, your first video, and then you have someone who's in your network, like myself, and I repost your video, then the algorithm goes, oh, that favors you because you win because now I've reposted your video. But then the algorithm favors me because now I'm viewed as an author just by reposting. So that is a great tip.
Yeah, that was it was an interesting thought, and it was, of course, my first video, my first TikTok. I don't know what your friends will say.
Hey, you have to start somewhere, and that's the lesson here is, you have to do it. You have to do it actually on your phone, and again, because you want to make sure. Another thing is that they're somewhat quirky, and that's a
Tell me
good
about that.
that's a good thing. Be quirky. If you think about the different platforms. So Instagram is an example. If you did a video on Instagram, they're beautiful. They're edited and they are spectacular quality. That's not what's happening on TikTok. So an Instagram, a video that would work well on Instagram that's highly produced, that's really for that platform. TikTok's not about that. It's about being real, being you, which is why I think your video that you did was so real and quirky and fun, and so now I would fully expect the algorithm to favor your video, and we'll take a look at that later and find out.
Okay, well, I need some pointers. Try not to laugh too hard. I will share. It's just 15 seconds anyway. Yeah, don't be a Neanderthal. Don't get stuck in the past. Watch Futures Television on Roku TV. I survived, I guess.
You know what, you did great. I love that. And for the first one you've ever done, my hat goes off to you, my friend. I think you did a great job. And remember that this is about your personal brand, right? You are Futures Television, right? So it's very, very clever. I'm sure there are some Neanderthals, out there. So, and I don't know how many times you did it, you drafted it, but that would be the recommendation is, you're not live. You can do these as drafts, and do it. Rinse, wash, and repeat. Right? Do it, and then do it again, so that you're happy and comfortable with it. And it can be a little daunting, I think, initially to do it,
Yes.
Until you're really happy with it. And it's hard to do because it's very short. Right? It's a very short period of time, but just keep working at it until you're comfortable with it. And then my number one point is just do it and be consistent with it. So 5 days in the work week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That was Meredith's recommendation. She does it 5 days a week, one video a day. And then when you start to get a following, you can maybe do it more and post more frequently. But when you're doing that, you really want to make sure that you have a following when you're doing that. But just starting out, do it once a day. Draft your videos, put them in the draft until you're ready to release them, and just be spontaneous. And I think that's the whole point here. This is about you, your personal brand. You want to come across as being real, not being too, stylized like you would be potentially on Instagram. You want to come across as being your authentic self. But like anything that's related to branding, you want to be relevant, right? So you want your message to be relevant. You were spot on with, you are Futures Television, and you're talking about, Neanderthals living in the cage, or in the cave, this is futures television. So your brand is relevant, spot on, you're authentic because you've got a character here who is humorous, and that's also very attention getting, and you're differentiating yourself by doing that. So very much aligns to a brand strategy of relevance, authenticity, and differentiation, and you are spontaneous, which is kind of the icing on the cake.
Oh, that's very kind of you. So I really think I need some more help here, you know. So next time, why don't we work together on perhaps a new idea? And so this way you can, walk me through the creation process, because that's, it's it sounds easy because if
Oh,
you've done it so many times and you're so good at, training and educating people about how it works and what doesn't.
yeah.
But for someone like me who's totally green, I think I need more, hand holding so that, at least it will flow a little bit better.
Certainly help you with that. Absolutely.
Okay, so looks like we survived. So, folks, thank you for your patience and not laughing out loud too loud. Or maybe if you are, it's okay. I think I can survive the Neanderthal, and then I have a follow up to the Neanderthal. So I'm
Okay.
working on it.
See, you're already following, the guidelines of, posting every day. So, consistency, you're doing it. So that's wonderful.
I really love the stuff and like in the training that you provide, because you kind of outline steps and what we need to do. So I try to pay attention to what you say and follow the recipe. It works. It does work.
It is a recipe, and I love that. I love that you say that. And hey, step by step, take it step by step. And I have another saying. Don't over engineer it. Right? You don't need to. You want it to be non-engineered. You want it to be come across as being real and authentic. And I think you hit the mark with yours.
Thank you. So I think it's important for the audience that we kind of recap what we just said. So
Sure.
if you don't mind, could you please summarize, what are really the key takeaways from this presentation, and what should the audience take home from this precise show?
Oh no, I appreciate that. I think the number one takeaway here is decide on who your ideal customer is, and you should do that for any business or marketing strategy for you or for your business. Who are you serving? Who is your niche target customer? And get very very specific, because not all customer types are created equal, right? So get very very narrow, very niche in who you're serving. So that would be number one. Number two, do your research on them. Understand what motivates them, what their pain points are, what their challenges are. And because you need to align your products and services, your value to that need. So you have to do your research. Point number two, put your ideas together, down on paper. Just write them down, what you're thinking of. I do work in strategic planning and in online education. So I'm always trying to think about what ideas I have. Even for my strategic planning work, that's a very content rich subject matter. So that provides me with a lot of ideas for TikTok videos. So planning is really, really important. And do your drafts. So you're not able to go live on TikTok initially. So, just practice, do drafts, until keep doing them over and over. They're only, 15, 30 seconds long. Keep doing them until you're satisfied with them. Post at least once a day. Certainly, if you're new to the platform, once a day, 5 days a week. If you want to go out spontaneously on the weekend, you can certainly do that. If you've got something compelling that you want to topic that you want to put out there spontaneously. But as long as your audience knows that every day in their feed, they're going to see a TikTok video from you, you want to be there, because they're going to be looking for you, because they will. And certainly, Ron, with your content and your characters and your Neanderthal man, people are going to be paying attention, and they're going to want to follow you and see what you post next. They're waiting for it. And then, another key learning, you just have to do it, right? You have to be on the platform to understand the platform from the inside out. And things are always happening on TikTok. Trends are changing. So if you're not on the platform, you're not going to know what is timely and relevant at that point in time. So understand the platform from the inside out. You know, pay attention to the trends. What are you seeing? What are you seeing other people having success doing? You know, you do your homework, gather your insights. Um, you know, arm yourself with the answers to questions that are appearing, and you know, don't forget about your personal brand because it is you. I really didn't want to do this myself initially. I didn't want to do it. I didn't think my audience was there, and I found that that's not the case. And I was actually thinking about hiring someone to do it for me. And the feedback came back and said, nope, that's not what the platform's about. It's about you, your authentic self, your personal brand. So just be you. Personal brand, it's all about you, and only you can do it. And Ram, you know, you did it, and I'd love to hear, you know, your experience and how you felt while you were going through the process.
Well, luckily I had two 9-year-olds next to me, so they were giving me some tips and
There
tricks.
you
Don't do
go.
this, do that, push this, press that. And I said, oh my gosh, what am I doing?
See, no, this is fantastic. The younger generation, they really know what they're doing on the platform, don't they?
Yeah, they laughed more than I did. I guess I wasn't sure if they were laughing at me or with
Oh,
me. I
God,
couldn't tell
they're
the
laughing
difference.
with you.
But you know what was great is but there are like features, and so for example some of the things I didn't learn when I put the soundtrack was too loud. So I think it would be great if you do it with me next time, and you come up with some kind of a training to, I mean, if I'm going through this, I'm pretty sure that other people who are just as green
Well,
or
and you know, myself included, like I said, I didn't want to do it. I was, you know, and I do videos a lot. I do LinkedIn live videos a lot. I'll go live on Facebook. So I've sort of, you know, trained myself to go live. But this platform, I was, you know, staying clear. And then, but I've seen the light and see how effective it can be. And that's what I love about doing the Take Two show is, you know, we talked today about the what and the why. But, you know, I think in our next show, we can talk more about the hows and maybe do
Mhm.
some step-by-step instructions, some training on, you know, we could do some, you know, online training to provide some real practical guidelines for how to do it and how to do it right and how to do it well.
Get the hands on the dough, I
There
guess.
you go. Get
That's
your hands. Yep. Get your hands dirty.
okay. So, folks, I think we learned quite a lot today. Deb, thank you so much. You're
My
always
pleasure.
doing a wonderful job at teaching, educating, and inspiring. I know you had to push me a little bit on that one, but
You did it.
I did it. So
You did it
I
well.
survived.
And
Okay.
now I can't wait to see the results. So keep doing it. Remember consistency every day.
Yes. So that's all about the consistency.
Yep.
I get it. I'm working on it. So you'll see take number two hopefully soon.
Fantastic. I'll look for it.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the upcoming shows. So today we talked a little bit about TikTok for business. And of course, we're going to have a follow up to that because, as you could see from my first one, I need more help. I really need Deb to hold my hand and say, no, no, let's do this. And she's always polite, but she said, well, you can do better. And I will do better thanks to her help. On May 5th at 11 a.m. Central, our guest is J.D. Gershbein discussing his work pioneering the next frontier of LinkedIn. And on May 19th at 11 a.m. Central again, our guest is Edie Rader discussing her work transforming toxic cultures into caring communities, the lost art of empathy. So again, I wanted to say thank you so very much. So Deb, thank you so much for taking the time to educate all of us, including me, and you're always teaching me something new and something fun. So thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
So folks, again, thank you so much for being here with us. We'll continue the conversation, and I hope to see you again soon on May 5th for yet another episode of Ask Deb About Business. And I will leave you with our institutional message. Thank you.